This is a short tutorial on how to use the strategizer. First, go to bookmarks and find your strategizer bookmark, and then put your username and password and log in, and then go to strategize. This is the very first step. Once you have strategies saved, you can go to my strategies, but the first time you use it, you will go to strategize. We'll do a basic win strategy here, which means that we're going to enter a bet type of win, an amount of $5. You can enter whatever you want, and a bankroll of $500. Track info, we're going to select all tracks. Again, you can select specific tracks, but I recommend starting out with all tracks. Global options, we're going to take our CompuBet top pick only. We want to use relative race options, which we'll get to later, and we want to show unprofitable tracks. We want to see the overall result of our search and not isolate only the profitable tracks. We want to come up with something that's pretty much profitable across the board. Race options, we're going to select trot not equal to. Trotters are a little more difficult to handicap, and for now we're going to exclude them. So check the trot box and click on the not equal to sign. Paces we don't need to touch. We're going to include all paces. Horses in the field, this just restricts it to races with a certain number of horses. We're not going to use that, but we will use post position, and for the most part we're going to use less than 6. That means horses 1 through 5 that fit the criteria. And then we'll go to this is the beaten favorite. We're going to leave that blank. We do not want horses that just qualified. There's too much of an unknown, so we're going to check qualifier and the not equal to box. Morning line, we can leave that blank for now. That's something that you can use when you get a little more acquainted with this. We do not want to bet on horses who have made a break in their last start or who have not raced in at least 3 weeks. So we're going to check this and put not equal to. The predictability index, I recommend staying at least 70 or higher. So for this experiment, we're going to go greater than or equal to 80. Drivers, greater than or equal to 15. Class, greater than or equal to 40. Form, greater than or equal to 40. A horse who's winning consistently first and second is going to be up around 90 to 100. So if we don't have at least 40, we've basically got a horse who's not doing much of anything. Okay, relative points to 1, we're going to leave that blank because we don't need relative points to our top pick, because we're only going to use our top pick. Relative points to 2, this means how much of a point spread does our top pick have over the second horse. So we're going to go greater than 20, just to make sure we have a good margin of error. And if you have difficulty with this slider, just type the number in, 20. And again, it's got to say greater than. And relative speed to 1. Now this is a little bit different. This is a relative speed to the fastest horse in the race, not necessarily the top pick. So we want to make sure our horse, if we're going to bet on him, is at least within 1 second of the fastest horse in the race. So we're going to go greater than -1. And relative speed to 2, we don't need that. Relative class to 1. Now this again means relative to the best class rating horse in the race. So we want to not be too far behind. We're willing to give up a little bit with some other beneficial points, but for the relative class to 1, we want to go greater than -10. And relative class to 2, again, we don't need that. But relative form to the top form horse in the race, again, we're going to use -10, greater than -10. And relative form to 2 we do not use. So then, now the next thing we want to do is we want to select a date range to try out this formula. So we're going to go about 2 weeks back, which is January 31st, and then we're going to click go, and we're going to click go and see the results of our strategy. And it turns out that we had 97 races that met the criteria for this strategy, and total amount bet of $485 and a total amount won of $485.25. That's about as close to break even as you're ever going to come, but it is a slight positive ROI. And so as you can see, this particular strategy that we just took a stab in the dark is very successful, and you can tweak a lot of the different variables to make it even more so.